I'm Sarah Jane and I'm here at the Island Arts Centre for Men's Mental Health Week. Today we'll be focusing on mindful drawing. Mindful drawing is an activity that connects your mind to the paper. So it doesn't matter at all what the artistic creation you make is. It doesn't matter if you draw like Da Vinci or a blindfolded toddler. All that matters is that you take part in the activity and it helps you to focus. So that focus on an activity like this helps to create space in your mind, which relieves stress and anxiety. So if you're feeling a bit down, if you're a little bit stressed or you've had a bit of a bad day, mindful drawing is a really good tool to keep in mind. Today is going to be challenge-based drawing. I like to not take it too seriously. We don't all love to draw. We don't all think that we're that good at it. So this is very much just a bit of fun that will hopefully help to create a little bit of calm for you as well. So we're going to start off with a breathing exercise. We're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and then let go for 4. So I'm going to count, and you are going to breathe. Are you ready? Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, and out, 1, 2, 3, 4. So hopefully that's shaken off the day a little bit, blowing off the cobwebs and got you ready to start the activity. Just a little bit of breathing sometimes can really help. I know we do it innately every day, but if we really try to focus on it, it does help to sort of bring you back down to a nice calm base level. So the materials that you need for today's activity are very simple. All you need is a pencil and some paper. I've also got some pens. I've got some coloured pens and some fine liners, just because I like to jazz it up a little bit, but you don't have to. If you do have pens and you want to use them, by all means you can. So our first activity today is going to be draw the line. It's a very simple activity. All we're going to do is draw a line at the top of the paper and then draw another identical line below it, as close as you can. So you try to make it straight and slow. The slower you go, the harder it is to make it straighter. So the idea is, very closely beside it, you want to try and identically copy the line above. So every little bump, every little curve, you just want to try and identically copy it. And then, when you get to the next line, you copy the line above it. And it doesn't matter if you make any mistakes. I mean, over here I've tailed off the wrong way. That doesn't matter because the line below it is going to identically copy the line above. And sooner or later, you will end up with something that looks nothing like the first line that you drew at all. That's okay. So I'm just spacing my lines a couple of millimeters apart. Unfortunately, I have some very large paper to fill. Hopefully yours is a little smaller than mine. And all the time, just focusing on the activity, focusing on connecting your pencil or your pen to the paper, about how that paper feels underneath the nib of the pen or the pencil. Concentrating on those lines, every little curve, every bump, and we're just going to keep going with this activity for about a minute. Usually you do it until you fill the page, but that, in my case, would take, I think, probably the whole day. So. Okay, so hopefully you have made some progress with your lines. You can keep going if you want to. If you want to fill the whole page, you can. It's a really good activity just to help you feel how your pen or your pencil connects to the paper. You feel all the little bumps and you kind of have to concentrate a lot on that. My paper, I've only filled the first 2 inches of it, and that's okay. I mean, you can do as much of it or as little of it as you want. This is all about you. So, our next activity is going to be an activity called Draw the Breath. So I'm just going to do it directly below mine. I think I'm going to do mine in a coloured pen this time. So this is a really simple activity in terms of what you have to do. So you pick a pen, all you have to do is put it at the far left hand of your page, and every time you breathe in, you'll draw up, and every time you breathe out, you go down. A bit like a heart monitor, you've ever seen them? It'll be a kind of a swooping scale. So breathe in, goes up and down. And just breathe normally. You can take some deep breaths. It's just about watching how your breath can translate onto a page. We're not aiming for anything in particular with this. We're not aiming for them all to be the same or to be very different. We're just naturally drawing what we do with our breath. And it's nice to see that on paper to really understand it. You can see mine, it's all up and down, it's all a bit different, and it's not artistically anything special. So, if you wanted to, you could go over this again with another colour. In true Art Attack Neil Buchanan style, here is one I did earlier. So I've done it twice and I've gone over it. You could go over it 3 times or 4 times, and I just written how long I have done that for. So I've got 1 minute in blue, 1 minute in orange. That was 1 minute of my breath. And it's nice to know the timings of those things as well if you're going to look back on them and to compare them later. Okay, so now that we're good and warmed up and we've done a few little drawing exercises, we are going to start the challenges. So the first thing you need to do is go and get a household object. Anything at all. I've got this little plant, this little fake plant, very fancy. You could use a cup, you could use sunglasses or a water bottle, a pot, anything you want. If you're very good at drawing, if you enjoy it and it's something you've done before, you can make it more complicated. You could bring a couple of objects, you could bring a bowl of fruit. But if this is your first time really trying to draw anything, don't do anything too difficult. Pick something that you know you've got the gist of. Something like a mug or a piece of fruit is always very good for that. So our first challenge is continuous line drawing. And we're going to have 2 of these. We're going to do 1 in a minute and 1 in 3 minutes, and then compare the 2 drawings. So you will have 1 minute to draw whatever your household object is, but you cannot take your pencil or pen off the paper. So you're going to draw in 1 continuous line. Yeah. So I've got a fine liner for mine, and I'm just going to set my pot somewhere I can see it nicely. And I am just going to draw exactly what I can see, and I'm going to draw without taking my pen off the page. So 1 minute, and your time starts now. overlines. You can do as many in the same place as you want if you want to give it a sort of depth. I like to sort of get an outline and then go over it again. Again, just focusing on the activity as you feel. Do you feel stressed at all? Do you feel happy, focused? And 10 seconds left in this little drawing. It doesn't matter if you don't get finished. It's not about finishing it, it's just about the process. And time's up. So, how did that feel? So I'm just going to write the side on the first one. It was a 1 minute drawing. Next, we're going to do it in a 3 minute drawing. So you'll have a little bit more time. You can take in, maybe do a little bit of shading. You can look at your object in a bit more detail this time. The first one warms you up, gets you the idea of the shape. The second one really gives you a bit more time for detail. So we are going to start our 3 minute challenge now. Just about a minute left here. About 20 seconds left now. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pencils down. So hopefully you can see here the difference between mine. This one's very much a basic outline, it's a bit sloppy and it's not very good. This one, I managed to get a bit more detail into it. I've done a bit of shading with the pen and a bit more of a voluptuous plume on my plant. Hopefully you've found a similar thing on yours, that you managed to get a little bit more detail, a bit more focus, and hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you've got kind of scripts, you now understand the shape of your object a little bit better, and you've noticed maybe where the shading is and how things are, and that will all help you in our next challenge. Because our next challenge is drawing that object with your eyes closed. So, usually easier to do this one on pencil, so I'm going to choose a pencil for this one, and I'm just going to do it on the back of the sheet. So all we're going to do is just close your eyes and try and draw what you saw from memory. So you'll have about a minute to draw it. I'm not going to pretend that this is going to look good. It isn't. It is not going to look good. But it's about the process. So when you've got your eyes closed, really feel the paper, feel your pencil, and concentrate on that sensation throughout your hand, and let it kind of radiate into you. And just see how it feels. That is what this is about. If you are not joining in at home, you can at least watch my very poor attempt of drawing this plant with my eyes closed. Okay, so you're going to have a minute and time starts now. And 15 seconds left. And that is time up. So take your pen away and look at what you drew. I mean, personally, I think mine's okay. You know, maybe you drew something there and you thought, actually, it was pretty good. I mean, mine is not going to win a Turner Prize, but it's all right. It's a bit abstract, that's what we're going to call it. I'm sure yours is too. So that is the end of our challenges and the end of drawing for mindfulness today. I hope that you have enjoyed it. If you'd like to carry on with this session, you can work back into the drawings that you have with colours, with pens and pencils, and really add to what you've already got there. You could draw different household objects, you could draw things in different styles. Pointillism is a good one, it's a series of small dots. And there are other things like the draw your breath exercise, play around with your breath. Take a big breath, take a small breath, draw it and see how it feels. There are endless possibilities that you could do with these little challenges today, and hopefully you will want to do some of them again in the future, and they've maybe brought a little bit of lightness to your day and a little bit of space into your mind, and really helped us calm ourselves and create a nice settle to go forward for the rest of the day. So thank you very much. I am Sarah Jane, and this has been Drawing for Mindfulness with the Island Arts Centre.